Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Cannon can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars in the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Cannon in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live that loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploded like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Welcome to our edition of Ken and crap. Where's Ken? And where's JB and Woody? And it's one of those mornings. Good morning, Fred. Yeah, what a game last night, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, Woody better be on today. He should be. He's doing his happy dance right now with the Sheagles losing. Wow. What a game last night. Actually, Philly had a night last night. Oh, here's Joe. Good morning, Joe.
Dude.
Hey, so Philly had the biggest loser competition yesterday. You know why?
Because they lost to the Giants?
And?
Oh, I don't know.
The Phillies got exited from the playoffs, losing to the Dodgers. So they got booted from the MLB playoffs, and then and then the football game. Kind of a crazy night for them. Bad to be a Philly sports fan last night.
I hate the Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm not their biggest fan either.
When I did watch baseball, I grew up a Giants fan, so I just absolutely despise the Dodgers.
Cubbies won yesterday. There will be a game 5 tomorrow in Milwaukee. You know, they have to make that huge 90-minute drive north. Hey, real quick, Joe, what should today's tagline for the Raiders X be?
I don't know, man. You know, usually it's either Chiefs fans can suck on the left nut or the right nut.
Yeah.
How about the seam that separates the balls? Tell them lick the seam. You know what I'm talking about? The dividing line.
I just wrote it as they lick the steam on your balls.
They're licking the seam on my balls. That's right. I'm sorry. Yesterday I heard a thing on Facebook. It was Tiffany Haddish, and she was talking about the seam. Why do men have a seam on their ball sack? And she was trying to get into the biology of it, but it was hilarious. So
obviously, we were supposed to get a JB this morning,
but apparently she doesn't.
Maybe JB's trying to figure that out, and that's why we haven't seen him yet this morning. Phillies lost. Push tush. Oh my God, the push tush. I mean, they make such a big deal about it every time they run it. So, like, dude, we've been seeing this play now for how many years have we been seeing this play?
Yeah.
Like, either, you know, if you haven't figured out how to beat it yet, I guess all I can tell you is keep trying. I mean, I know that they looked on the replay like they went early. The offensive linemen went early. I mean, I get that. Be upset.
Dude, that's part of what makes the tush push so hard to beat is because they always jump and they get away with it. Like, I'm not against the tush push as a play. It's basically just a quarterback sneak. It's just, you know, like, and they used to, you remember when they used to have a rule about abetting a player, like where you couldn't like push the ball carrier forward. You
Yeah.
couldn't help the ball carrier to advance. I don't know when they got rid of that rule, but apparently they did because the tush push is perfectly legal. But just, it's the offense innately has an advantage, like on that play, because you know the guards and it's all about timing and leverage when you're in those goal line situations. Like anyone who's ever played offensive or defensive line and actually been in one of those goal line situations knows, man. It's like who gets off first and who gets the lowest, you know?
All right, we're shared out to everyone finally. Yeah, I mean it's a tough play, and it's like, look, you can. I mean, and the Giants do their own tush push, right? Just called it old fashioned QB sneak, and they got the yard. I mean, I don't know. It's just the guards jumping early. You know, they need to make that reviewable. The problem is this: I'm going to shoot down my own cure the second I make it. What if they make that reviewable? Now every play is going to be reviewable for them moving early.
Yeah.
And that's my God. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, look at it. Okay, instant replay obviously is never leaving. I remember a day. You remember a day. Luca probably remembers a day because he was old enough. Same with Fred and others out there where there was no such thing as instant replay. The ref saw it or the ref didn't see it, and that was that. And what were we told, Joe, as kids?
It's part of the game.
Part of the game.
Human error is part of the game. You know, but I was thinking about it. I think a good way to try to counter that tush push is you have to have your defensive linemen cut the legs on the offensive linemen, and you have to have your linebackers like right up on their ass, like on one side or the other.
Yeah, but the problem is these offensive linemen are so low you can't cut their legs. They're already so low in their stance.
Well, but if you dive right out of your stance, like I'm saying, like, so look, when I was in high school, we played this team. We played Vallejo High, right? And they had this running back named Drake Davis. He went on to play for University of Kentucky, and dude ran a 4.4 in high school. Like he was crazy fast, right? And so our coaches were like, "Look, we don't have the speed to hang with this guy, right? So we can't let him get through a gap." So it's like our defensive line strategy was literally, as soon as the ball is snapped, like dive into a gap and just plug up every gap on that one, you know? And so yeah, it's good for like gumming up the works, you know?
It's going to be tough for them to do it. Hey, the Go, which is also this guy here, Big Hoss, who also reposts stream. Hey, go check out Hoss's show on the Go. He's got some pretty cool shows he does on X, Louisiana sports specifically. Go check him out. He's been on our show. You guys should remember he was on last Friday. Obviously he's at work right now, so he's just reposting the show. Go check him out. Joe, you know, I mean, it just, I guess it comes down to timing though too, right? I mean, it has to come down to the timing on that. And
it comes down, it's timing and leverage. Like, so the only way that you're able to stop it, or able to convert, it's whoever gets off first and whoever gets lowest, you know?
I mean, and the Redskins tried last year, right? HTTR out there for the Redskins fans out there. You know, they tried just jumping over the line. Remember all the penalties? They're like, if you do it again, we're just going to give him the touchdown, was what the ref said. It's like, look, I understand that he's trying to time it. It's, you know, I mean, if you would have timed it perfect, yeah, they'd stop it. But they took, what, 3 penalties on 3 offsides penalties, kept moving it a half. I mean, it's a tough play, but now they're doing it from even further out. They were like a yard and a half out. And they did it. Oh, we'll just do it twice. I'm like, that's, as a fan, it's boring when they do it twice like that. It's like, come on, man, do a running play, do something. Like, I don't want to sit there and watch you tush push your way just down the field, right? If the defensive lineman stands up and he gets chop blocked because of the push, isn't that a penalty? an interesting
Yeah.
idea. I don't know how practical that is. but
Actually, I don't know. I don't think so because if I think it depends on when the offensive lineman cuts. So like if an offensive lineman steps back and then cuts, it's a penalty. But if they cut right out of their stance, I don't think it's a penalty. I think it's just a cut block at that point.
yeah. Let me go back to this because Fred posted it. We were talking about the tush push. How about Jackson Dart going out? Everyone was losing their mind. Then that bum Russell Wilson comes out, gets a delay of game, then whiffs hard, throwing the ball in the dirt. And of course, Corey with a somewhat appropriate reply because I kind of agree with some of what he says here. If you played in the NFL, had a successful career, and a Super Bowl, you're not a bum. Has his time passed him by? Yes, but come on. But so okay, yeah, he's maybe not a bum, but the to the Fred's bigger point, yeah, there you go. Do it, Walter Payton style.
Marcus Allen.
And Marcus Allen too, yeah. But to go to the point, Russell Wilson, man, he comes in the game yesterday because Dart, gets hit. He has to come out for the play, and my God, the Boo Birds were out. And then like the only ball Russell throws, just like a rocket into the dirt, not even close to the receiver. Like he could have, and the fans, rightfully so, booed the hell out of him. Russell Wilson, when he plays now, I can't even think of another quarterback that looks as bad as he does when he throws and when he plays.
I kind of see both sides of it. Like I agree with Corey that the guy won a Super Bowl, give him his respect, right? But he looks like a bum now. Like you can become a bum after winning a Super Bowl. Like if you stick around too long and your talent has passed you by, and like what are we supposed to call him? Like he's washed, dude.
I think that's what Fred is saying too. He's like, look, man, okay, he apologized for calling him a bum, but you know what? Then he calls him a bum, which is great because he just said just what you did. And I mean, it's. Do they just need to release him and go find a different backup quarterback? Because I won't even trust him to be the backup in New York right now. Yeah. Duval's like, are you going to be back out there soon, please? I don't want to have to run with Russell anymore. Oh, yeah, his bank account, dude, Russell's bank account's fat, obviously, but that doesn't mean he's not a bum now. Right? I get the guy from the longest yard. Russell just they need to cut ties and get a different quarterback in there because right now I don't think New York could even trust him to be the backup.
Well, what happened to Jameis?
That's a good question.
It's that I mean Jameis. I would have Jameis as my backup, honestly. I mean Jameis, he throws a lot of picks, but he also throws a lot of touchdowns. Like he's good at getting the ball down the field.
Yeah. Why isn't he the number 2?
It's a good question. Probably the contract.
Yesterday? Well, did he not dress yesterday?
They're paying Russ, however many millions to play, and
I mean he's on the depth chart as quarterback 3. Oh, he's not okay. So he was operating as quarterback 3 on the depth chart, so he was at the third option guy. So only if Russ got hurt. So maybe Dable was like, if Dart wasn't going to make it, he's like, okay, please get hurt. I made a mistake. I think that changes next week. I think Jameis he needs to be number 2, and obviously you have to move Russell to the 3 spot and make him the emergency only quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know how. Looking at how they've both played in the last 2 seasons, I don't know how you can have Russ ahead of Jameis on the depth chart. Like, even when you go back to Jameis's New Orleans days, right? Like, he was winning games. Like, and he was looking competent doing it. Like, I don't understand.
Well, before I get to Steve's next question here, too, one other thing, Scattaboo, dude was running through brick walls yesterday, man. That kid was running well yesterday. He was hitting everything, running through people. I mean, and then like the touchdown he had when you had him and Dart in the end zone doing their little dance together. I mean, it was just like, okay, New York, there's your future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Scatabo looks really good for a rookie.
Looks really good
How is he? How is Shador getting disrespected?
because he's still not.
Other than like fans, like, I mean, is the NFL disrespecting him in some way?
He needs to earn his respect, though. I don't think he's done that with Cleveland, with some of the antics and other things he does. Like, he's still very immature. Boy, all right, calm down in the comments, man. Don't kill each other. Yeah, I mean, Shador Sanders is, here's the problem with Shador Sanders. Like, that the stereotype you give the rich kid, you know what I'm saying? That the rich kid stereotype, how they don't know how to do anything because everything's been on a platter, or, there's all the different tropes and whatnot. But Shador Sanders, tell me he doesn't embody that. He's just like, he acts like the spoiled rich kid who never had to do anything. Daddy always covered, and he could always do what he wanted. And Daddy was going to make him the starter and retire his jersey, which has got to be the biggest joke. If you're a Colorado alum, you got to be like, how the hell did this kid get his jersey retired? What did he do for the University of Colorado? I'd rather retire Rashawn Salam's jersey, right? At least he won a Heisman there. And that's what Shador is. So he hasn't earned respect. He hasn't earned anything. And every time he's given an opportunity to earn something, he doesn't do it. And it's not like, okay, he could be a complete moron like he's being if he could play well. But that's just it. He can't even do it on the field either, because that's why they're like, I don't know where this kid's going to be on the depth chart. Like, we need to keep him, but we're not going to elevate him, even though we'll just bring another quarterback and keep him as QB3. I mean, I don't know what his issue was or is. That's the problem about Shaduki.
You know what? I don't disagree with you about the rich kid take. I think he definitely shows signs of that. But I also think he hasn't really been given a chance to show. Like, he hasn't been given a start in the regular season.
He didn't earn that start, though. And obviously, he didn't earn it in practice, which is a piece that you and I don't see. But obviously, Dylan Gabriel has earned it.
I mean, earned it in the sense that they got rid of Flacco. Like, Flacco was playing so bad that they had to go to somebody else.
Oh, yeah, but
I don't know that.
But look, you get rid of Flacco and you trade him because you see something like, we only see 10%, right? We're not seeing 90% of practice in the QB room and all that other stuff. Dylan Gabriel obviously made them feel comfortable enough where they could walk away from Flacco, not only bench him, but trade him to a division rival in season.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Like, obviously, Dylan Gabriel has shown them something that makes them feel like, hey, you know what? We can move on from Flacco, and like we can put the team in this guy's hands for now. I don't know. And he looked good in his start. I'll give him that. Like, he looked competent. That's what I see, Luca. Is I see like them trying to humble him. And I get it, but at the same time, if you keep doing that, it's like you're not going to humble him. You're going to break his spirit, man. And like,
if you're going to give the kid a carrot, at least he's got to do something to get the carrot, right? Or you just, it's double-edged sword, right? Because if you keep humbling him, at some point you're going to break him, and you might break him where you cannot replace him. But if he doesn't ever do anything to earn some of the carrot and you give him the carrot anyways, you reinforce the bad behavior. So, like, looking at this from a military perspective, I hope Stefanski's like a drill sergeant with this guy. Drill sergeants in the Army or in the Marine Corps or any branch of service, they're not there. They're not, people are like, oh, my God, they yell at the recruits and they treat them so poorly. There's a reason for that, right? The drill sergeants are there to break you down. They're there to strip you down to your bare nothing, right? Like the essence of just you, like break your spirit, break everything, and then they build you back up. maybe Stefanski's trying to do a little bit of that, like break the kid down and then build him back up.
You remember Arlie Ermy in Full Metal Jacket when he's like, that you are not even human fucking beings. You are grabastic pieces of amphibian shit.
Yep. But that you know what's great about that movie is all that was off the cuff, and that stuff he actually did as a DI.
Yeah.
Right. And drills
are super
and
authentic.
Like, when I was in basic, man, drills were like that, man. You know, and everything was theirs. Push my earth, get off my sidewalk, get up my stairs. Why are you in my building? You know, eat my food. Why are you not eating my food fast enough? Push my earth. My God, everything belonged to drill sergeants. But that's the, you know, so maybe that's what they need to do is like Stefanski needs to be a drill sergeant with this kid. And here comes the happiest man in Pennsylvania.
Fucking beautiful day out today. I just can't believe it's so beautiful out today. Perfect weather.
You see the sun shining behind Woody. It's like almost too perfect, dude. Like
God, it's just fucking great. It's a great day.
Some days the birds are chirping and
the birds are chirping, but not last night. That's great.
the She-Eagles lose. The Phillies lose.
Oh man, it was the only thing that would have made it better if the Devils would have pulled that. The Devils would have pulled it out last night, but no, they can't against Carolina. But it's a beautiful day. Let's hear those fucking excuses coming up.
Saquon didn't have a good game either, did he?
No,
I mean those things on the panel.
I mean, it's amazing how Jackson Dart, came in. I was just talking to one of my managers. He's a Steelers fan. I was like, dude, I know you guys have Aaron Rodgers, man, but you should have went after Jackson Dart when you had the chance. He's your future.
I mean, I said it yesterday. Remember, like I said, it's not impossible. Like if I know that the Eagles are going to try to get Saquon going. If the Giants can shut Saquon down, then they have a chance, and they did. Shut Saquon down.
It was like
he had like 60 yards,
and it was funny though when Russell Wilson came in. He handed it off, and he had a batted pass. It was great.
Yeah, no, he threw it in the dirt. He missile dived it in the dirt. We were just talking about that. You know what though? It's funny because I look at the Bears schedule. We get the Giants and we get the Eagles.
Right.
And at first you're like, the Giants, that'll be a game the Bears should win, and the Eagles, that's gonna be tough on Black Friday. Now it's like, Black Friday looks a little bit easier. That Giants game looks a little bit harder. It's like that. It's like I was thinking that last night. Like, ooh, I was assuming we'd go 1-1 in between those two games. We probably still do, just different results. The win and the loss just got reversed. That's
well, yeah. I mean, when we play the Giants, our offensive line better, I practice better, fucking do good because their D line is disgusting. Giants, and you know what, the She-Eagles always play tough at home as well. So yeah. It could be 1-1. It could be 0-2. So who knows? It depends what team shows up.
It's just watching Scadaboo run yesterday. I was like, okay, wow, this kid's got something. New York, like it was funny because New York's the only team that we've seen in the preseason going through the draft and all that on a Hard Knocks. I wish they would have done that with another team again this year. Because the cool thing is we got more of an idea of like the personality of their staff, right? And you could tell their frustration in that season. They didn't get their quarterback. I wish they would have done it again this season. They got their quarterback, right? They were that first season, that Hard Knocks season, they were like doing everything they could to try to get in position to get a quarterback in that draft class. And look at all 5 of the guys from that draft class have played well. So I understand why they were upset. Last year, this last draft, they make the move to get Dart. People are like, oh, what's going on here with New York? And it looks like they hit it. They hit it. This kid is NFL ready in every aspect of the term. I mean, he is. I mean, I hate when the commentators go gushing on a quarterback, but the one thing they gush about him is his calmness, and they were right. This dude is calm. This kid is. You don't see this kid get frazzled. He just stays calm. No one's really no one's made his nerves go yet.
Yeah, I never seen a coach yesterday when Jackson Dart went into the tent. I mean, Dayball went in there with him.
He was running right after him. Yeah.
And he was, even when Russell Wilson was in and the defense was on, Daboll was concentrating on Jackson Dart, what's going on with him. It was just, that's the first time I've ever seen a coach do that.
Well, he knows. He's like, he went into that tank, dude. We need you back out there, like
Right.
as soon as possible. Like we don't have a chance without you. Like,
Nope.
Yeah. First off, Steve, what are you doing cheating on us with another podcast, especially if it's a Bears podcast? Now you're cheating on Woody and me.
Yeah. There is no other podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're doing there, Steve, but we've talked about the Thibodeau thing with New York, because Mike, Bear fan Mike brought that up, a week ago or a week and a half ago. And here's the problem: the Bears should trade for Thibodeau. Great. Hey, Giants, are they even considering trading Thibodeau?
I wouldn't be with how your defensive line is playing right now.
And the other piece is, what are you trading him now? Mike said trade him DJ Moore. Now he's backed off from that because now he's realizing, wait a minute, DJ Moore being on the field opens up the field for Rome and other guys because you have to account for DJ Moore when he's on the field. If you get rid of him, now you can spend more of your defensive resources on our other receivers. But the thing is, I don't think they're going to trade Thibodeau. And the other thing is, and the Giants have already said, we're not looking for a receiver to replace our injured guys. We've got this in-house. And I think they showed last night they got this in-house. What do you think there, Woody?
Well, if I was, like I said, if I was the Giants, I would keep that defense the same as it is. Don't get, you have a good defense there. But trading DJ Moore, that was clickbait all over the place. And no, that's not a good thing either.
And I get why the clickbaiters are saying it. I get why some fans on X are saying it, is because Rome is getting the ball. Rome has got 4 games and 4 touchdowns. They've spread the ball out. DJ has been a big of a part of the offense. But this is where you make the difference between, and I don't want to call some of these folks casual fans because I know they're not, but between a casual fan and someone who really pays attention. Now, I'm not trying to say these guys don't pay attention, but they're not thinking that next level, right? That second, third order of effect. DJ Moore being on the field in Chicago means that you still have to put someone good on him. He's not a bum. He's not like the 6th string wide receiver. He will burn you and burn you big given the opportunity, and you still have to account for him on every stinking play. And if you take that away, and now we are putting a lesser receiver out there that you don't have to account for as well, now they can put more resources on Rome Odunze. They can put more on Duvernay. They can put more on Luther Burden III. Right now, when we run our wide receiving core out there, you're jacked if you're a defense, because you better hope your defensive line can get through, because you can't cover all these guys that the Bears have. You just can't. It's physically not possible. So why would the Bears want to take away from that? Just like why would the Giants want to take Thibodeau out of that defense right now, which is monster?
It's like this. Like, you have, I think what they're thinking, it's on the surface level, it makes too much sense not to do it, right? Like, the Giants need a receiver, the Bears need a defensive end. You have guys that, they're somewhat quote unquote expendable in their opinion. So they're like, it just makes too much sense not to do it. But I agree with you. Once you go to like the second level of it, once you dig a little deeper, it's like, well, but it's like taking a piece out of the Bears puzzle and putting it into the Giants puzzle. But now you're missing that piece on the Bears puzzle, right? You're adding another piece which fits, but you're not, what's the net gain, right? You're not making yourself a better team. You're making yourself a better defense, but you're losing a key piece of your offense. With the Giants, you're losing a key piece of your defense to get a piece for your offense. It doesn't really, it's like trading your queen in chess. You know what I mean? It doesn't really make sense.
Well,
if I were the Giants, I would just see who's on free agency. You better just pick it off a free agent or something like that instead of getting rid of anybody.
And here's the thing, too. If you're buying at the trade deadline, which you would assume the Bears aren't selling, And I think you're going to make the assumption that maybe the Giants might not sell now. They might try to build for maybe not necessarily as much this year as next year if they got the right piece. Like we saw the Bears do that with Montez Sweat a couple years ago. We knew we were going to need an edge then, so we went with Montez. It worked out early. Isn't working out so great right now in terms of his sack production. The Bears are getting pressure on quarterbacks as evidenced by 7 interceptions in the last 2 games. They're making quarterbacks throw bad balls and giving the ball hawks something to do. But New York might be, if you're trading at the trade deadline and you're not selling, you're not trading a player for a player. Like look at the trade we saw with the Chargers and Baltimore, the Harbaugh brother trade, were 2 teams that are sliding a little bit, each of them are trying to course correct and fix a need. And that's what they did. That was a complete need swap for both of them. It was a good trade for both, right? They both had something they could give up, but they could gain as well. And it worked. And I think that trade works for both teams. If the Bears do anything at the trade deadline or the Giants, they're trading draft capital for players. So, if you can go and you can get, and there's a lot of names, that are being thrown around. Breece Hall's being thrown around for Chicago. That one's possible because he's on a rookie contract, and his next deal isn't going to be a $20 million deal. It's going to be 8 to 10 probably, Swift money. He's floating around. He hasn't quite demanded a trade yet, but he's hinted that he might. The Achane is out there, same kind of boat, but he'll cost more next year. And then Trey Hendrickson, which is, of course, everyone's favorite, but that one's problematic because of the cap. Even with this prorated cap number for the year, the Bears would have to make a roster move in terms of restructuring someone's deal, most likely DJ Moore, right? Because you can get $15 million off him by restructuring. But then you come to the follow-on. Like guys like, for this year we can get Trey Hendrickson. Okay, great. What are you doing past this season? Because if you're willing to give up the capital, restructure DJ's contract, and then let Trey Hendrickson walk at the end of the year, right? This is all you're putting all the chips in for this year. Cool. If you're not putting all the chips in for this year, you got to figure something out because right now you have no safeties in Chicago on the roster for next season, none. And you've got like 9 or so roster holes to fill, and you got your draft cap people. You need about $10 million for that, and then Hendrickson's going to cost you $25 million. And it's not like you can just get rid of Montez Sweat. And that's the same with this A.J. Brown nonsense. Like, is A.J. Brown getting traded? Probably not after last night. They made sure to make him a piece.
Yeah.
But it's the same situation for Philly. Why would you trade A.J. Brown? He's a piece of that puzzle that gets your other receivers open.
Mm-hmm.
So, trade deadline, I get it. We're in a week 6. We got the week 6 games, week 7 games, week 8 games, and then we get a Monday and then a Tuesday afternoon trade deadline. Okay, so we got some time. We got 2.5 weeks or 2 weeks and some change, if you look at the calendar. Honestly, no one's made a decision if they're buying or selling yet. But since he drops the next 2, they may trade Trey Hendrickson. However, if you look at their history, they have a tendency to hold the guy and just let him walk as a free agent, which makes no sense to me, Joe.
Mm-mm.
Like, if you're not going to re-sign Trey Hendrickson, well, don't you think it'd be better to get a second-round pick off someone for him?
Yeah.
Steve
Yeah,
says
bro.
A.J. Brown.
I was just thinking about. I don't know. I don't think the Eagles have any incentive to trade him at all. He's on a really cheap contract for them. He's one of their star players. I don't see the need to trade him. But I don't think the Giants are necessarily like. I don't think they have to look at this season as like being, well, let's just try to get better and like basically punting on the season. If you look at, they just beat the Chargers a few weeks ago. Now they beat the Eagles, like two good football teams, and they did it without Malik Neighbors. Like I'm not shutting the door on the Giants this season. Like this is the kind of win. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but mind you, this is the kind of win that can galvanize a team.
But not even that, Joe. Like, let me take a step back. Let me look at. Let me bring something up really quick. Hold on. If you look at the standings in the East, so right now the Giants are 2-4, Eagles are 4-2, Commanders are 3-2, about to be 3-3. Cowboys are 2-1, right? I mean, they're not completely out of it for the division. Like, okay, that you win next week. Now you're 3-4. Let's say Philly goes to 4-3. Now you're a game out. Just like that. I mean, we're still early enough in the season where being 2 games back isn't insurmountable.
That's what I'm saying. And is Dallas convincing you that they're guaranteed to finish better than the Giants at this point?
No.
No.
And neither's Washington. I mean, they still win like this. They're in play. And look at, even let's say you're not though, Joe. Let's go down another layer. Let's say this team isn't going to. We're not going to make the playoffs, but they're going to win 7 games, and they're going to look good doing it. And you're going to see the improvement. Yeah, they're like, we're probably going to lose some nail biters and some heartbreaks, and I'm sure that would happen. But they're not in a sell mode because they're building something new, right? So if they're like, look, our defense is on point. What are we missing? Okay, we're missing a tight end. We're missing an offensive lineman. We're missing whatever. Well, why would I get rid of pieces when I know I've got draft capital and free agency and I've got money?
Yeah. I as much crap as I give Eric about the Giants, like, I said they were going to be a garbage team because they were starting Russ, but I also said that I thought they would win a lot more games with Dart. And with Dart in there, I mean, I could see them like finishing the season right on the cusp, like just missing out on a wild card, like maybe 8 wins.
I see them losing road games a lot because Dart's been great at home. He wasn't good on the road. Now, it's a small sample size, I grant. But he's going to make rookie mistakes. He's going to write checks that his arm and his body can't cash as a rookie. They're going to lose a couple games because of mistakes, rookie mistakes, stuff like that. But, I mean, they're building something. So I don't think Thibodeau is getting traded. So Bears fans or NFC North fans, just in general, you're not getting anything from the Giants, I don't think. If anything, you might get draft picks from them if you're selling. But I don't think they're selling. I don't think they're selling.
Well, Joe,
I also agree with
Joe, I would give Eric shit because he says he likes 2 teams. He can't like 2 NFL teams, let alone 2 teams in the NFC.
You can be an NFC, like you can be a fan of a team in the NFC and have, hey, here's the team I like to watch in the AFC. Like I like the Raiders in the AFC. I've always liked the Raiders in the AFC. I mean, for me, we come to my house, it's obvious a Bears house, but there's a little Raiders stuff here and there because I like the Raiders in the AFC.
I mean, I like 2 teams too. I love the Bears and I like any team that plays the Eagles. So
I mean, the only difference is like you don't take 2 teams in the same conference.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you can have a favorite team in the other conference that you like to watch when your team that you love isn't on, and that you can pull for some. But, I mean, and that's fine because now you're watching the other conference, so at least you know a little something about them when you play them in the Super Bowl. But, it's just the Giants are building something good. Teams that aren't, though, the Saints, I don't know what they're building or doing. I don't even know what they're doing in NOLA right now.
Ada dropped a comment earlier. He said that, having Dart and Scatabo might have actually saved Dable's job. Yeah. I think that's let's wait and see. But I definitely think his seat got a little bit cooler,
Well, I just wanted to come on and say happy Philadelphia Day. I was so happy. I wanted to see some Eagles fans making some comments, but I guess that's not happening. So
they run and hide.
Yeah, I have to go sell a car. Everybody have a great day, and I'll see you, Ken, on Sunday.
Yep, see you Sunday. Hey, make sure you charge that Eagles fan double for the car.
Yeah, absolutely. Go fuck themselves. I'll see you.
Big commissions.
I mean, it's the Giants are looking good. The Eagles, they're not terrible, but they're having their moments. They're not winning convincingly when they do win, and there's now another back-to-back losses. I mean, the 4 games they won weren't convincing, and now they've got back-to-back losses. This is what's happening when you're not as dominant as you used to be. Saquon hasn't even had a 100-yard game yet.
Yeah. I think there's more. I think there's more going on than meets the eye. Like I don't think everything is right in that locker room. With the AJ Brown thing, and like I don't know. I think there's a lot more being said about Jalen Hurts in that locker room than is making it to the media.
Yeah, I mean Hurts. He's kind of like Justin Fields. I mean, if you think about it, he doesn't throw well, but he doesn't get a rap for that. Justin gets beat up on it because they say he doesn't throw well, but he does throw. I mean, look at Hurts missed a wide open man downfield as an easy touchdown, missed him, overthrew it. It's like I don't know. Maybe Hurts gets a little overrated because of the rest of his team. See, but once again, that's funny how the quarterback thing goes. If Justin Fields had played for a good football team in Chicago, if we had been a good football team, what are people saying now about Justin Fields compared to what they say today?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What are they? I mean, if Jalen Hurts had played for the Bears and not for the Eagles, what are people saying about Hurts today? This is a guy who got benched.
Calling him a bum.
This is a guy who got benched in college for Tua.
Mm-hmm. They'd probably be calling him a bum.
Yeah, probably would be. I mean, it's just funny how the luck of the draft. So that's what that is. That's the luck of the draft for some of these guys. And someone and Steve said Drake May and Dart are proving themselves. I think quite a few of the rookies from the last couple of years are proving themselves at quarterback. I mean, you look at the draft class that had Jaden Daniels and Caleb and Bo Nix and Penix. That entire draft class, minus maybe Penix a little bit this year, is proving themselves. I mean, they're playing good ball, and Dart's definitely having a good start to his career. I'll probably watch the Jets go 0-6. I feel sorry for the Jets because like they were looking like they had made improvements, and now they lost Quentin Williams, and I'm not sure if he's back this week or not. But without Williams, that defense has no soul. So they still have work to do in New York for the Jets. I think they got some really good pieces, but I think they may end up trading Breece Hall. And if they do, I mean, they're going to take a step back. But you can see the Jets moving forward, but then they're getting stymied with injuries. I mean, that happens to the NFL. They should have the depth they need, and they've got some good players. They just can't put it all together.
I don't understand trading Breece Hall. Like, I think that's a stupid move. He's a really good player.
Yeah.
And he's not costing you a lot of money. He's not the reason you're losing. Like, I don't understand that.
I don't think they're trading Brown, dude. I don't see Brown getting traded unless he becomes so bad of a cancer that they have no choice but to get rid of him. I don't see them trading Brown and Breece Hall. Like he's hinted that he's going to demand a trade. Even if he demands a trade, unless he becomes a cancer in that Jets locker room, I kind of agree with Joe. That they're not going to make trades because they've got the pieces. They just got to put it together.
And I'm not saying they're not going to trade him. Like, we've seen the Jets do things before that you're like, okay. I'm saying that they shouldn't trade him. I don't see a reason to trade him. He's a good player. As far as A.J. Brown getting traded, I don't think he's getting traded. But that last comment said or even a Raider. The Raiders have the cap space, and they have the draft capital. I certainly wouldn't mind trading for A.J. Brown, especially on the contract that he's on right now. That would be, if that was like a trade deadline move, I'm with it. His contract looks pretty good for the next couple of years.
Dorn's got a good question about the Raiders, though. When does Geno get benched?
I don't think he is going to get benched, man. I think they're riding with Geno, win or lose, and because if you look at it, this is what I try to explain to people who are like, "Oh, you need to bench Geno." It's win-win for the Raiders. Like, they can get out of his contract next year if they're able to trade him. There's no dead cap.
Yeah.
If they have to release him, it's like $18 million in dead cap. Which, I mean, it sucks, but the Raiders have over $100 million in cap space next season, like well over 100, and they still have $30 million on the books this year. So the Raiders have money. If Geno turns things around and starts playing good football and gets the Raiders competitive, it's a win. If Geno doesn't, if he continues to do what he's doing now, the Raiders are looking at a top 5 pick, and they're going to go get their quarterback and move on from Geno, and it's a win. So, like, the Raiders are kind of playing with house money at this point. Does it suck on a week-to-week basis? Does it suck watching the games? Absolutely. Like, it sucks. It sucks watching the games because there are players that are out there performing and doing what they're supposed to do, like Max Crosby, like Ashton Genty. But then you got Geno, like, setting the whole team back. That's the frustrating part.
Yeah, and Steve must have been typing this comment that I was saying that about him if he becomes a locker room problem, that's how he's gone. Talking about AJ Brown. This weekend's games are gonna be interesting. There's a good slate of games this weekend. There really is. It's gonna be, of course. What I hate is I have to wait until Monday night to see any of these games. Or to see my game, I should say. Why am I not? There we go. We had some good games. So we've got Broncos Jets at 8:30 in the morning Central Time. Yeah, so 6:30 in the morning for you there, Joe. I don't think you're getting up to watch that one.
No.
Browns Steelers could be interesting.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Cardinals Colts. If anything, just to see how real the Colts are.
Yeah, I think it could be an interesting game. It just depends on which Keebler Elf shows up, Like, if the Cardinals show up, it could be a good game. But the Colts are rolling right now, man.
Chargers Dolphins. Look, if the Chargers can get right, and part of me wants them to, the Dolphins, I mean, you're going to be hearing that hot seat. It's going to be on fire. And then you might start hearing about trades in Miami, people getting fired, and the team.
I don't know, man.
That might be your
like
first.
The Chargers are injured.
They are.
The Chargers are injured, man, and they're vulnerable. So,
but if the Dolphins lose this game, and let's say they lose in terrible fashion, man, we could have our first head coach fired of the year. We could have a fire sale start. The possibility that's a game to watch even more for that. Trevor Lawrence for MVP sounds real. Let's give that a couple weeks. Cowboys Panthers could be an interesting game. Pats Saints should be a look. If the Pats don't win this game convincingly, then last week was a fluke. Rams Ravens. The Rams should steamroll them. You got the Sea Chickens and the Jags. That's going to be
that could be an interesting game.
That's going to be an interesting game, and it's in Jacksonville. And the Seahawks are better on the road over the last 2 years than they are at home.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure that. The 12th man team is better on the road. Yeah, they're better on the road right now than they are at home. So that goes to Steve's comment there about Trevor Lawrence. Let's see how they do. That should be a fun game. That's an early game as well. Now the late games, we got the Titans and the Raiders. The Raiders need to win this one so bad. They do,
but I'm not so sure that they do. Like, the Titans got their first win, and
basically the line's 1.5 because they gave the Raiders 4.5, but you get 3 just for being the home team. So, I'm not downing your thought, dude. I'm not downing your what thought am I downing about Trevor Lawrence being an MVP candidate? I'm just saying, all right.
It's a little premature for that.
Yeah. I mean, because like he's played really well, but I don't know. I mean, he's in the conversation. If they win 11, 12 games, then sure he definitely could be in that conversation.
Hmm.
With a couple other guys, like a guy who's playing this next game, Niners Bucks, Baker Mayfield will be in that conversation.
Hmm.
You know, Bengals Packers, that game should be a joke. If the Packers don't mollywop the Bengals, something's wrong. But if Joe Flacco is playing, and I saw an article and it had to be a joke that they flew Flacco in on Spirit Airline points. When they flew him in, they put him on Spirit and the owner used his Spirit points. But if Flacco can beat the Packers again, Ken might not want to come back on Monday. He might want to take another day
I was
off.
just going to say the Bengals. I don't expect them to win that game, but if the Bengals find a way to win that game, it's going to be an interesting show on Monday.
Yeah. And Steve, I get it. You're tired of the Flacco. Look, Steve's like, we just need to pound them so I don't have to hear about Flacco anymore. But Steve, if Flacco finds a way, I'm not even going to say Flacco. If the Bengals find a way, whether it's flat because of Flacco or not, to beat you, that's all you're going to hear about, right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then of course we get the Lions and the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are favored by 2.5. You know, they're the home team. So yeah, but look, they're the home team, and the Lions 2.5, which means it's really, they're really not the favorite.
No, because generally you get the 3 for being at home,
right?
And they're cutting into that. That means like they really don't expect the Chiefs to win this game.
Yeah, and then
I don't expect the Chiefs to win this game either. But I do think it'll be an entertaining game. Like the Chiefs, as you know, they're on a decline, but they can still be competitive. Man.
It's like, damn you, Fred! No sooner do you say that, Joe. Fred says, "Yeah, well, no one expected the Giants to win last night. You suck, Fred. Thank you." And then the last game, of course, is a get right game. It's the Bills and the Falcons. And look, it's a big game for the Falcons. Actually, I think it's bigger. It's bigger for the Falcons than it is for the Bills, right? The Bills need to get right after that loss last week. But the Falcons, man, if they lose this game, you might start hearing that head coaching position there might get a little hot, right? There might be some hotness going there. And if Penix doesn't perform well, you might be hearing stuff with the GM as well because, hey, Penix is our guy. And if they lose to the Bills, which they should, the Bills are the favorite in Atlanta by 4.5. But you might start hearing some grumblings in Atlanta about personnel and coaching changes there as well. I don't think Atlanta is going to sell anything per se, but you might start to see some things happen in Atlanta.
Well, look at that spread. I mean, the Bills are favored by 4.5 in Atlanta, so you got to take the 3 that they generally spot Atlanta plus that 4.5. That means they really think the Bills should win this game by 8 or more.
Yeah,
like, and I don't disagree with them. I think this is a good opportunity for the Bills to get everything right.
This Chiefs-Lions game, I mean, Lions are coming at 4-1, a little nicked up. The Chiefs are 2-3, not looking like the Chiefs that everyone's used to. The Lions don't have a secondary. I'm just going to say it. They don't have a secondary. But lucky for them, the Chiefs don't have a receiving core. So...
Yeah. But the Lions have been looking really good for weeks now. The Lions have been like offensively, they've been looking really good. Yep. And I just feel like, I don't know, man. I don't expect Kansas City to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Like
if Kansas City wins, people are gonna be like, well, it's Kansas City, and now they'll be 3-3. The Lions will be 4-2, and it won't be like a big loss for the Lions per se. Even though it will be, but it won't be, right? But if the Chiefs lose, they go to 2-4, right? And it'll solidify the Lions as being the best team in the NFL right now. And for the Chiefs, so more importantly, they're going to have to face reality that they are not the perennial dominant team that their fans think they are, and that they do suck.
Well. I just think that they're aging out, man. Like, and they've made some decisions over the past few years that I think like they gave Karlaftis a big contract. I don't think he was worth that much. They spent a lot of money on their offensive line, but their offensive line hasn't really performed up to what they're getting paid. If I'm being honest, go back to last year's Super Bowl. Like it's their wide receiver room, like aside from Rashee Rice, like Xavier Worthy is good, but he's not a number one. And I don't think, nobody's expecting him to be, but with Rice down, he's having to be that number one. And it's just sort of like, I don't know. I think they need to retool. If I was them, I would be looking. I don't know what Chris Jones's contract looks like, but I think it's time to let him go.
Steve asked, and I'm going to give Steve some love here, Mr. Thugonomics word life guy. He's like, have they really beat him with their winning record? Well, let's look at that. They lose to the Packers week 1. Fine. It's week 1. I don't care. Week 2, they beat the Bears in a get-right game. And that game in the first half was actually pretty close. After the Tesla call, that game came off the rails for the Bears, and the Lions took off. But the Bears are 2-2. The Packers are 2-1-1. The Ravens, they were they destroyed the Ravens. They destroyed the Browns, no winning record. They destroyed the Bengals, no winning record. The Chiefs don't have a winning record. The first game they might face a team with a winning record will be week 7 against the Bucks. So Steve's got a point there about the Lions. It's not like they're beating the creme de la creme right now. But here's the thing, though, where Steve, I'll give the Lions some credit. 52-21 over the Bears. 38-30 over the Ravens. 34-10 over the Browns, who, by the way, beat your Green Bay Packers the week before in a very tight game. 37-24, and they actually had destroyed the Bengals in garbage time, which I hate that argument, but I'm going to use it here anyways because I can be like that. They let them climb back into it a little bit, and then they reasserted themselves. I think that was more of an indictment on the Lions letting their foot off the gas and then going, oh, crap, we're going to let the Bengals get back in this, and they put the foot back down. But they let their foot off the gas that Bengals game, and that's not a good sign for the Lions. The Chiefs are better than most of these other teams, but if you beat the Chiefs, not a winning record. So Steve's got a point there, but the difference being the Lions are beating the teams they should beat.
That's what I was going to say. You can only play who's on the schedule, man. And they're taking care of the teams that they should take care of. So you have to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, Green Bay, Green Bay should have taken care of the Cowboys. They didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the one thing. If you're a Lions fan, you can still go to the Green Bay fan. Okay, you beat us in week 1, big deal. It's like the preseason. But look, you should have beaten the Cowboys. I mean, the Bears destroyed them the week before. How do you tie them 40-40? Don't give me excuses. So
they should have beat the Browns too. The Packers should have beat the Browns. Like, I can understand the defense keeping it close, but the Packers should have won that game too.
Yeah, I mean, and Fred, it's early on, but Fred, he does have kind of a point. But then again, when you beat people, you have beaten them. You didn't eke out a walk-off field goal win against the Bengals, for example.
I wouldn't even say that Steve has a point. What I would say is that Steve made a factual statement, but I don't necessarily think it constitutes a point because it's like they haven't had to play a winning team to really get that test. After week 7, like if they lose to the Bucks, then I think Steve would have a point.
And here's the thing, and here's the thing for that game, Steve. The Bucks are the team that can beat Detroit in Detroit because Baker just did it last year. So that's going to be a fun game to watch. I hope. Yeah, that's going to be a fun game to watch. And
I hope that game's prime time because that's going to be game of the week. I think.
Let me see. I can tell you real quick. Oh no, it's not this game. It's not the Sunday Night Football game or the Fox game of the week. Oh no. That's Monday Night Football, my friend.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
That's next week's Monday Night Football game. This week, NFL, man, look, you get the revenge game in Washington this week, Bears Commanders. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Next week, we get Bucks Lions. Oh, NFL football scheduling gods. Thank you for getting it right. And with that, we're out of time. I got 10 seconds up before JB comes on. For Joe and myself, thank you, everyone in the comments. We'll see you all on Monday. Have a great weekend of football, guys. Enjoy, and thanks again. We'll see you Monday.